So in Garry's mods, some of my favorite mods are ones that allow you to manipulate physics. And I think the reason why that is, well, is because of what this game is based on. Half-Life 2. Half-Life 2 was kind of ahead of its time when it comes to physics manipulation and using those as puzzles to actually solve elements of the game's story. Now, of course, most games at the time didn't really have like super good physics manipulation, so you couldn't do a lot of the things that Half-Life 2 could do. But now this kind of stuff seems kind of trivial, although it still blows my mind and it's still enjoyable to this day. But what if we could control certain properties of these objects? Well, then enter the Physgun mass manipulation mod. That is exactly what this is. It turns your regular old Physgun into something that would make both Albert Einstein and Sir Isaac Newton cry. Well, honestly, the Physgun by itself would probably do that, but now we're going to make that even more so, because all you have to do is hold down left shift, and when you do that, you're going to see something new. And there it is. It looks kind of like an anchor. I think I've seen that icon somewhere in Garry's mod. It's probably like a source icon. Holding down left click and using your mouse wheel, you can change the weight. And this is actually doing something. To prove it, let's go the opposite way, because that's going to be a lot less time. Let's go to 0. Now, what happens when something has 0 apparent weight? Well, we can't go there. We can only go to 1, but it's pretty light now. Alright, so I get it. You don't believe me. We're going to have these two things at approximately the same height, and I'm going to try to unfreeze them at the same time. Okay, that didn't work. So instead, I'm just going to throw this up. Alright, so that was pretty barely. So now let's try to throw this up. Wait. If we grab this barrel and try to launch it, it's kind of effortless. But with this one, I don't get it. It's supposed to be lighter, so what's changed? What's changed
is the mass.
You see, massive objects tend to be thrown further when you throw them. Well, if you have the force to throw it, that is. Compared to lighter objects, because of things like wind resistance, and the fact that massive objects tend to be pretty damn dense. But of course, as we learned in school, all things, regardless of its mass, fall at the exact same rate. However, wind resistance is definitely going to play a factor here, as well as probably a few other things. Well, that's kind of lame. I was kind of hoping we could make this low gravity. No need to fear. All you have to do is press right click. You'll see that X and let it go. I know you might think, oh, well, Necros, you just froze it in place. Are you sure? That's right. We have 0 gravity on this barrel, and obviously we can do it on many things. And that goes for insanely massive things like this giant dumpster, which typically has a decent amount of weight. But again, if we were to go ahead and just take that weight away, we now have a tumbling dumpster in the city, which kind of just looks weird. But what about the other way? What if we were to instead make it heavier? And to do that, we're gonna have to crank it up, but don't worry, if your middle finger's getting cramped, hold the shift key, and instead of adjusting it one at a time, you'll do it in multiples of 20. So now every time it goes up, it'll be 20, and if you really flick the wheel, I think you guys can see what's going on. Alright, 4000. What does this look like when we let it go? It shakes the whole map. Alright, so I've gone ahead and spawned a standard barrel so we can compare. I'm going to go ahead and lift this up. Flies pretty high. And then this. And it flies further because once again, that mass is helping it. Just whatever this thing hits, it's going to feel pain. Now, I'm not sure about you guys, but when I think about inflicting pain, I only think of one person. Now, I do want to know, oh my god, even just dropping it right there shook the whole map. You're going to notice something too. We can no longer pick up the barrel because the game detects it as something that is simply too massive for the gravity gun to pick up. I don't know why, I just think that is like insanely funny. So if we were to, well, you know what? We need a baseline. Let's go ahead and drop this on Odessa's head. Make sure that I do have it set. I'm pretty sure he didn't mind that. Now we're going to try this. First I'm going to freeze it. I really want to get this perfect. Alright, here we go. Bravo, barrel. Bravo. Here we have a line of Odessas. Let's go ahead and try to center this up. I'm going to try to just swing it. Not too bad. Alright, I made the line a lot bigger, and we're going to try it with the massive barrel now. Once again, really going to line this up so that we get it right the first time. Alright, here we go. It's still going. Did you guys see how it was just tunneling through all the Odessas? Like it didn't even care? And even then, it didn't really stop the force of this, because if you really think about it, that is what mass is. How difficult it is to change an object's motion. And once it gets going, it's hard to stop, but once it's stopped, it's hard to get going. But as you can see, once we get this thing going, it doesn't really want to stop. Alright, so I've gone ahead and raised it up to 10,000. Now to show you guys what a barrel does to a normal box, because we're going to have it fall down this, I want this video to be very entertaining, guys. So please bear with me. I do want these boxes to stay put. So let me just go ahead and freeze them all. They are kind of turning a bit, so this may impact the results. Alright, anyway, this is a normal barrel. Let's go ahead and drop it on this. Not bad, right? Pretty light. But what about this barrel? And you can even see, like, my Physgun wants to let this thing go. My Physgun is probably crying right now. Okay, I want to center this in. Alright, and she's centered. Let's go ahead and let her loose. That is exactly what I wanted to happen, and I am so very happy I got that on video. Guys, what do you think? Do you think it's fun to manipulate physics and to be able to change its properties into ways that kind of break the game? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below, but as always, links will be in the description. You can use code NecrosVideos to save 20% off your next G Fuel order. Leave a like, subscribe if you want. Links are down below. See you guys in the next one, and until next time, thanks for watching and farewell.